The Bajwa, let me just get extended conversation with you, which is that in the entire category of EV, sedan, SUV, luxury, if I'm just getting the classification right, where do you see the biggest disruption will happen? Where do you think the customer appetite is going to move, and where do you think the biggest innovation will happen? I'm just breaking it for our viewers. Entry level stroke sedan, SUV stroke luxury.
So I believe SUV is the most favored portfolio right now. Whether you look at ICE or you look at hybrids, I think I personally see SUVs are going to find lot more takers going forward also as far as EVs are concerned. And I think luxury also, I'm not too very sure because of the price point and all that, how that market, because the market itself is quite limited today. Going forward also, I don't see. I personally feel that the mass segment SUVs, especially in a price bracket anywhere between 15 lakhs to 25 lakhs, is where there'll be a good playground for EVs. And this is where people will find interest as far as EVs are concerned.
In terms of the cost, where do you see the cost curve moving? If the battery prices are getting lowered, if the number of components which are required to make a EV car are much less, if the logistic costs are better, if technology in semiconductor will ensure that chips will be sold at the price of wafers and wafers will be sold at the price of potato chips, then do you see the EV vehicles coming down in a gradual manner and ICE engine going up in a linear manner, and 5 years out there would be a large gap between ICE and EV?
No, I think Nikunj, EV as it is at a very nascent stage right now. So I think I don't see that happening. EV has to grow. EV penetration has to grow, because even if you look at today, we are hardly in the passenger car industry. We are at little over 2% EV penetration right now. So I think there is a huge scope for this segment to grow going forward very clearly. And even if you look at globally today, there are countries which are sitting at 20% plus of total penetration, is where the total penetration is of electric vehicles. So I don't see we are anywhere closer to that as of now. So I see consistent growth over a period of time happening for EVs. I think what is more important is a very consistent policy over a period of time, a stable and a consistent policy, which will help the growth, drive growth for EVs. And second is also the customer education, I would say, is going to also be of prime importance. There are certain category barriers, and you also spoke of some of them. I think the moment we are able to overcome most of those category barriers, EV will start to fly. That's what my take is.
Start to fly, that's the word coming in. Satinder, hold that thought. Anjali Rattan, chairperson, Revolt Motors, also joins us on the show. But just to complete that point about policy with Satinder first, you think the government is perhaps making the decision to roll back some of those EV subsidies too soon? Because Mr. Gadkari was just speaking last week and he was of the view that EVs no longer need any subsidy or helping hand. They have seen quite a bit of pickup. What's your view on that? Because, of course, state governments are looking at perhaps giving a push to hybrid cars, etc. We have seen the case with UP, but Centre is trying to roll back some of the subsidies which are there.
I think the industry still needs support, because we are at, as I said, at a very nascent stage. So this needs initial support, and we do expect. Government has been very supportive. Let me put it across very clearly. Government has been very supportive, and without their support, I don't think the industry would have even reached the stage where it has reached today. So I think if this support is extended for some more period, this is certainly going to help the faster adoption of EV vehicles by the consumers. While on one side, yes, there is definitely advantage when it comes to the GST for EV vehicles, which continues. And Minister has been very kind enough, that he said that will continue and that will not be touched. But yes, on the certain state governments which are today supporting the EV in terms of registration, low registration or a zero registration cost, I think if state governments continue to extend their support for some more time till we reach a level where, customers find this whole gamut of EV sustainable. I think till then, I would expect the state governments to support, and this will definitely help faster adoption of EVs.
More support from the state government. Let me bring Anjali into the conversation as well. Anjali, hi, good to be speaking with you. Well, yes, it's World EV Day and we're talking about the adoption which has been there in four-wheelers and two-wheelers, but there's a lot of increased competition when it comes to two-wheelers. Ola Electric, of course, is growing by leaps and bounds. You also have a lot of other players like Ather, etc. doing well. Talk to us about your numbers, what kind of growth rates you've seen, what's the market share right now and what the target is for you, let's say, by the end of the year.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Good question. So we are in electric motorbike. Probably if you talk about the market share today, we rule the market by almost 90%. So Revolt Motors is one of the top companies into EV bike section as per se. But there are many scooter players in the market, but there are very few electric motorbike companies. And in terms of growth, we are looking at great growth penetration, especially during the Diwali time. We'll be launching on 17th of September a commuter bike, which we think will be a great hit.
Point taken that you expect it to be a great hit, but I wanted to also get a sense as to, Bajaj, for instance, is launching its bike as well, and that's going to be important with respect to the gas inputs coming in and how that completely changes the dynamics of the two-wheelers as well. So that CNG bike, do you expect that to make a huge dent into your, addressable market?
See, it could be an interim shift between ICE and EV, but personally, I don't think a CNG bike will take a great show. Probably people have apprehension regarding the safety and many other concerns around it. This is what I hear, but I think EV is the ultimate goal for India, and I think everybody should look at it, other than the any interim measures like this.
Looks at the parallels here. The parallel in the two-wheeler market, scooter market, is that what's happened in Taiwan, what's happened in Thailand, what's happened in Vietnam. There are clear success stories about EV scooters doing very well. What is the global parallel for EV motorcycles?
See, it depends on the country as well. Like in India, 2/3 of the electric, or 2/3 of the auto market is of bikes, so which rule around 65 to 70%. So I think eventually in India, EV penetration of bike will be much more than scooter. It's just that there are like less players right now. I think Ola will be coming next year with their bike as well, and many other players are also planning to penetrate into electric bikes. So very soon, I think there'll be a big shift like we had in scooters. It'll be in bikes as well.
Mr. Bajwa, the whole differentiating factor between an ICE vehicle and an EV vehicle is cost of running, which is that, and I'm just drawing a parallel here in the four-wheeler market. If one really looks at the cost of commuting in a city like Mumbai for even a sedan car, I think it runs into about 10 to 11 rupees per kilometer. Mumbai has a lot of traffic, so obviously cost is high. Similarly, in EV, it would be about 3 to 4 rupees per kilometer. Do you see this cost arbitrage, Mr. Bajwa, only increasing as technology kicks in, and that in a sense will make it more and more attractive for a car buyer or EV car buyer?
See, today also, if you look at it, the cost varies from 2 to 3 rupees a kilometer when you see the EV vehicle compared to an ICE, which varies from 8 to 12 rupees. I think going forward, if the technology is going to evolve, and as we heard, the battery prices are coming down, EVs are going to become more lucrative. I think, Nikunj, what is important is it is just a matter of, the ecosystem getting developed. The moment the entire ecosystem, and you talked about the resale value and all that, yes, consumer does have that, fear in his mind as of now, but I think the entire ecosystem will get developed very fast. Once that is done, you will see that this whole segment will start flying. Currently, if you look at it, largely it's the second buyer who already has a vehicle in his house who's basically opting for the EVs currently. Yes, range anxiety, all that stuff is there right now. So that's what I said, education is very important for EVs. And going forward, the way the technology is evolving, you will have the vehicles which will come with much higher range. So probably going forward in future, you will probably have a vehicle which you may have to recharge, which you will have to charge maybe twice or thrice in a month. You never know. I mean, the technology is moving so fast and is moving in that direction. So definitely the cost of operation of an EV going forward is definitely going to come down. It's already at a very affordable levels, but going forward, I'm sure it is further going to come.
So Anjali, I'll just wrap it up with one final question, that there is a clear case in terms of cost saving per kilometer when it comes to EV cars. But in case of motorcycles, you already get about 70 to 80 kilometers per liter. Where will the cost arbitrage move, and how do you see that impacting the motorcycle sales?
See, it's buying a electric motorcycle or any two-wheeler, it's a no-brainer in terms of cost. So if you look at the fuel cost increasing in India, and even look at the ICE bike sales cost as well. For last several years, let's say for 7 years, the cost of a bike which used to be 30,000, it has gone up to even 1 lakh. So ICE as a bike, the cost is increasing over the years, and on top of it, the fuel and extra service costs as well. But if you look at the electric motorbikes or electric two-wheelers, the cost of the bike or the scooter is coming down over the years. And when, if you talk about the battery cost of the battery technology, because EV is more about technology. And as we advance in terms of technology, the cost keep coming down. So eventually, I think it's right now, I feel it's a no-brainer to buy a electric scooter or a bike or even a car. And in coming years, I think government push should be there. There should be innovative measures when it comes to the state as well. For example, many of
Anjali, can you give me some numbers? For example, with four-wheelers, we have that number. It's about 10 to 11 rupees per kilometer for a ICE engine in Mumbai. In EV, it is about 2 to 3 rupees or 3 to 4 rupees. What is that arbitrage between a electric for motorcycle versus a ICE motorcycle?
It's 10%.
Okay. Is that a good enough arbitrage? I mean, 10% is not large, unlike where four-wheelers have 70, 80%.
No, I think it's 10% of the fuel cost. So that's the electricity cost that is consumed. So if it's 100 rupees per liter of the fuel, it comes to 10 rupees for a single charge.
Saving is actually 80 to 90%.
80 to 90%, that's right.
Wow. You live and you learn. I mean, I'm learning so much about EVs that I'm really tempted to do a deep dive. Already we are doing a deep dive, but personally I would like to do a deep dive, understand how the technology and how the things are moving. I'm pretty sure, Satinder, that you have an EV car, right?
Yes.
And Anjali, how do you commute to work? It cannot be a motorcycle, come on. It cannot be a motorcycle.
No. So, I have a motorcycle as well. I'm a biker. I have at home as well. But I bought an EV almost 7 years back. And I remember I bought an EV just for the reason I don't have to go for servicing as much. I was not in India at that time. But eventually, when I started using it, the kind of convenience it gives you, and not going to the fuel station and not going to the service station for at least a girl like me, it becomes so much convenient when you're not even in India or outside. And the kind of subsidy given by many other countries as well as in India as well, it's quite lucrative. And like I was giving about some of the innovative things that like London did. They have a congestion charge. They don't have a congestion charge for EVs. They don't have a parking charge. It's nominal, almost like 10% of what ICE cars are. So they're giving free parking. They're giving some subsidies to people, no congestion charge. Such measures should be taken eventually by states as well.
Right.
And,
absolutely. I'm sure the industry can do with some more support. Thanks so much, Satinder, as well as Anjali, for speaking with us on a topic which is close to your heart. But we have definitely saved the best for the last.